Hello, everybody, and welcome to Positive Fandom. I am your host, Rrr Mmmm, and of course, we have Lorena Creole with us tonight. How are you, Lorena?
I am doing great, ready to sit back, relax, and watch this here show.
Oh my goodness, Lorena, I've been waiting so long. You've been waiting so long. The community has been waiting since what, 2014, 2015, when they said there was going to be a movie and then a show, and then it was held back, and it's finally here, Lorena.
Wow.
I am so excited for this. I played the game. I'm just excited, and I have to show. And I promise I won't stay on here long. I promise you that I have my figure here, my Last of Us 1/9 figure. So you see, it's Joel and Ellie.
Oh, yeah, yeah,
Up, and they're in this box. There's
yeah, yeah.
probably reflection here. You can't see it.
Oh,
To
oh,
take
that's
the box.
nice how that's put together.
Oh yeah, yeah. I love it. Trust me, I just was so happy to get this figure. It's two figures. They fit together like a. It's kind of hard to explain, but they fit together. Um, they don't. They're not posable figures. They fit
Hmm.
together, and if I can get my act together, first of all. So this is Ellie, and I promise you guys, I'm gonna make a separate video for this. This is Ellie from The
Oh,
Last of Us.
oh, I love that detail.
Doesn't it look
This is
good?
it's very good.
Look at
Yeah.
her little backpack, her ponytail. She's even got her key fob or whatever kind of fob that is. I don't know what that is. A little
Yeah, a little Klingon clip thingy.
yeah,
Yeah.
a little clip on the
Yeah.
side. She doesn't have the. She would be holding a gun, guys. So obviously she would be holding a gun because this is The Last of Us. So she
Hmm.
needs to have those things with her. So there's that figure there. I'm just gonna put it down for a second. I don't think I can have her stand up, and I want to show you the Joel figure just really quickly. Get us kind of in the mood for this. I know many of you may have already started watching, but
Hmm.
um, here's the Joel figure from The Last of Us. He looks so good. So you can see him there.
Oh, that does look good. I love that.
So this is exactly what
Wow.
they look like in the video game. For those of you who played the video game, it's exactly the same way that Joel and Ellie look together. And
Hmm.
the way that this set comes, like when I kind of dropped stuff on the floor. But the way the set is that they kind of nest together a little bit like this. I can't do it really correctly, but they
Hmm.
nest together, so it's like this.
Oh.
And when you put them to like stand next to one another, she's kind of
Hmm.
looking this way, he's looking that way, and it feels like something right out of the video game. For those of you who played the game or even watched, for those of you who did the walkthrough, it was like fun to watch that. So, but the detail, I just love the detail they had in these two, even though it wasn't the 1/6 scale. Guys, this is 1/9
Hmm.
scale. I think it's
Okay.
good, Lorena.
It looks great.
Yeah, I'm really happy with them. They were not cheap, so I
Oh, no, we do not get the ones with that much detail on the cheek.
yeah, so I'm really happy with them. I just wanted to show you guys who are fans of The Last of Us. I'm going to do a separate video for these. But I figured since we're watching The Last of Us, someone must care about The Last of Us characters, so I could show these two. I'm really happy with these two figures. And Lorena, thank you so much for joining me, and everybody in the chat. I'm so excited. Latoya T is with us tonight.
No.
Hi, Latoya T. It's a pleasure to see you here tonight. She says, Lael better be finished streaming or I'll be watching without him. Okay, well, we are here, Latoya T, and we're excited to we're going to get started soon in a few minutes. Tom Jr. Jackson says hello and welcome to the Last of Us watch party. Hello, Tom Jr. Jackson. Always
Hello.
here. John Ware Jr. is here. You two will not be relaxing as you watch.
I figured as much.
We know that it's going to be an intense show, and I'm
Mhm.
looking forward to it. Mikey Lito is here. Mikey Lito says, hello, all. Well, hello to you, Mikey Lito. It's such a pleasure to see you here this evening. And we also have Stuart Mitchell.
Hey, Stuart.
So good to see you here. John Ware Jr. is here as well. A near 90-minute premiere. Yes, it's like a movie, isn't it? I'm here to cue you up, Lorena. Excellent, excellent. We're so happy you
All
are here.
right. Yes.
And Gary Bando Sandwich Worthington, he says, we'll be watching in UK later today. Have a good view. Well, thank you so much, Gary Bando Sandwich Worthington. Thank you for stopping by tonight. And
Mhm.
it was great, guys. Thank you all, everybody who is turned out. And thank you, Tom Jr. Jackson. We are all good people. Thank you for doing that, Tom. I did just want to say, we're just going to coordinate together. If you guys have it queued for episode 1, are you queued already, Lorena?
I am indeed queued and ready, locked and loaded.
All right, so let's press go now.
All right.
Okay.
Need to skip this.
Yeah, no worries. Tell me when you started.
Okay, started now.
Okay.
I forgot HBO likes to front load
Mm-hmm.
with no. If I wanted to watch those shows, I would have clicked play on those shows. I want to
Now,
watch
did you
that.
press skip?
Yes.
Okay, so we are at least 1 minute and 10 seconds, correct? Okay,
Yes.
excellent.
1968 here.
Yes, that's where I am as well.
Back when everyone smoked. They got that shag carpet right. I will give them credit. This looks like I'm watching 1960s TV.
Absolutely.
Mhm. Do you know the name of this particular actor who's speaking? Because I know his face,
I do not.
but I don't know his name. I'm gonna have to look it up. It's gonna drive me nuts. Mhm.
He was in Four Weddings and a Funeral.
Okay, that's probably where I've seen him.
Yes, he was in Spartacus as Lucy Lawless's husband. Thank you, John Weir Jr.
Ah, okay. Mm. Mm.
So, guys, the inspiration for The Last of Us was a parasitic infection. That's how the developer, Druckmann, I believe, developed the game from learning about these parasites, and they developed the game that way. So, we are now at almost 5 minutes in, 4 minutes and 52 seconds, guys, into the premiere of The Last of Us on HBO Max, if you guys are syncing.
Very interesting opening credits.
I think it's the fungal growth, right?
Yes. Hmm. Indonesia.
Mhm.
Contrary to popular opinion, a good percentage of us Americans know where places are in the world.
Exactly. Hey, Outcast Creative
Hey,
and Theme Park Casual. How you guys doing tonight?
hey, the Casual, how you doing? Hope dinner's going good.
Mhm.
No, I don't.
So Tom Jr. Jackson was saying that's Oscar from The Office. Thank you, Tom Jr. Jackson.
Oh, I haven't watched The Office, and so I never watched it consistently. I just kinda watched it often off and on, mostly because I preferred the British version of The Office.
Mhm.
Not really, but
This girl reminds me of Thandie Newton for some reason.
Thank you, I was thinking the same thing. I wonder if that's her daughter. I mean, not to say it is, but just the same facial
Mhm.
structure.
She's
Looks like Thandie
beautiful,
Newton.
she's a
Yeah,
stunning girl, and she does look a lot like her. I should probably look it up.
like the same, like, facial shape.
Mhm.
Hmm. Now where are we going?
Yep, she's doing something.
Sketchy part of town. Pawn shop. She's pulling her dad's watch.
Guys, we are at 12 minutes into the
Oh, no, it's a watch shop. She's getting it fixed.
yeah.
That was interesting.
What?
Hey, you saw the SWAT truck. A SWAT is basically 911 for cops. Wow.
Uh-oh. Even the clock shop closed early. Oh, thank you so much. Is that who it is, Stuart Mitchell? Is that who that is? Thank you so
Knew it.
much.
Thank you. Drive me nuts. I'm like, that looks just like her.
Uh-huh.
Ugh. That's a last resort cookie. It's a methadone cookie. She can probably read your lips though. She having a seizure? Is that 16 handles?
I'm sorry?
I thought she took out a copy of 16 Candles. But let me guess, her mom is gonna roll up in there like a straight up zombie. And I just saw John Ware Jr. said, "Wait for it." Yeah, I you know something ain't right.
I miss those carefree days.
Okay, that is not good unless you live near an Air Force base.
Hmm.
You're not, no, something's up. It's like people are crazy. Hmm. I have no idea why I thought she was grabbing a copy of 16 Candles. I thought she was getting it for her. What? Sounds like he's familiar with him being at that particular jail. Oh, that's not good. You didn't at least leave a note? That dog is scared out of its mind.
Mhm.
See, the dog is smarter than you. Stay in your house.
Hey, Justin.
He's like, "I left there. I don't wanna go." See, animals can sense evil,
Mhm.
and every time John Ware Jr. says, "Wait for it," that ugh. Is this where we do the zombie yell and scream and run at you? Okay, I have so many zombie scenarios going around in my head right now. I wanna see how this, plays out. I have to say, this suspense is building up really good. Oh, somebody eating brains. See, I couldn't be in this right here. Okay, I was part right. Oh, man. And it's the mother. Yep. Shoulda listened to the dog. That's oh. I hope y'all got gas. What are they dropping? I hear you. Okay. All right. We trust in cousin Jim, Uncle Jimmy to drive us the right way. I hope he knows where he's going.
Yeah.
So they know the back way to go. Okay.
They're going off road, whatever they have to do to get the hell out of
Mhm.
there.
Yeah. The areas other people don't know about. Okay, that's God. You're right, Tom June Jackson. This is intense and I love it. Oh! Oh! Was that part of the engine? Dang. This is where I stop to wait for you guys. Wow.
Guys, we are at 30 minutes into the show.
Who's shooting? Okay. That's not good. Oh my god. This is heartbroken. Oh my god. Mm-mm.
Yes, it did, Mikey Lito. It's almost exactly as the game.
Okay, that's what I was gonna ask. If that was
Hmm.
how that happened. Because I think I'd heard that there was something that happened with his daughter, which was why he was so intent on protecting Ellie.
Hmm. Absolutely.
Yeah, man. Oh,
So there's a time jump. Thank you, John Ware Jr. A 20-year time jump, guys.
I'm eating popcorn. Time to full infection. Okay, so obviously they've been studying it for long enough that they can tell truly when someone's infected. Wow.
I know, right?
They probably said, "Bump that. We can't you don't have that to spare."
Yeah, things don't look too good in this future. In the first few minutes of it, it looks
Mhm.
bad.
Burning people in the open on the street, not in, incinerators. People dying that quickly. It's almost like, pictures you would see from, like, the 1930s or 20s with epidemics where they would just be hauling people, like, out.
Oh, oh, oh.
Dang.
And guys, we are at 40 minutes into the show.
So I have to ask the question, was that an antidote or was that a lethal injection?
Well, I think John Weir Jr. may be giving you the correct answer here.
Universally, anything that turns up red is bad.
Mhm.
Okay. Wow.
That's right. That's exactly right, John Weir Jr.
Okay.
Look at the place.
Ration cards.
Now they're covering up a picture, a painting, a red picture that looks like it's a firefly, but
Mhm.
they're painting over that in that scene.
Is that like a resistance movement or something?
Yeah, it is significant, yes.
Okay. So public executions.
Well, you can imagine people are not happy with it, any of this. Like, this must be a
No.
nightmare to live in.
Mhm. Yeah.
Oh, cigarettes.
Hmm. Okay. This will do for now. Better have all my money next time. Hydrocodone.
Things are so tight, he has to ask for the plastic bag back, Lorena.
Mm.
I agree, Tom Jr. Jackson.
I have to admit, I have been quite impressed
When
with the
you're
way they
lost,
ramped this up.
it says, when you're lost in the darkness, look for the light. That's what the writing on the wall said, and that's a Firefly saying.
Okay.
I had to say that. I can't help myself.
Straight out of the video game, right?
Yes.
Okay. That was zero warning. What the? Is this their method of clearing, I guess, trying to clear these people out?
It might be. I can't remember where that explosion happened or why it happened, but it was messed up. There's nobody around and she's on the streets right now.
Mhm. Wow. Oh, she's such a freaking lady.
Ooh. Oh, when you are lost in the darkness, look for the light. I'm sorry, I get all passionate about it. God help me. No
No,
worries.
but it's interesting. From any show that I've seen that has a resistance element, there is a message that is spread to communicate that.
Bloodsport 1, we were at 49 minutes and 21 seconds. I'm just about to post a 50-minute mark. Um, and we are enjoying every minute of this. And she does have a great American accent. She was in, as you recall, Lorena House, uh, not House of the Dragon, but the one before. I can't seem to remember the name. Just
Game of Thrones.
yes,
Who was she in Game of
a
Thrones?
little noble girl who killed the troll. Did she kill the troll? She killed a troll or something like that.
I'm gonna have to go back and look because for some reason she's not uh not ringing a bell.
And guys, we are at 50 minutes into the show. So glad to hear that, Bloodsport 1. Oh, he must have heard a message from his brother. I'm guessing.
Mm.
You know, there's some guys who are on ham radios that are going to be communicating even after
Mhm.
everything's gone. They're going to be like, "This is Joe, Joe 465." You know,
Mhm.
who's out there? Thank you so much, John Ware. John Ware says she killed the giant White Walker. I'm sorry, I thought it was a troll. Excuse me. She killed the giant White Walker, Lady Lyanna Marmot of Bear Island, related to Jorah. She was always checking the older.
Ah, okay, okay. I gotcha.
He grabbed her, but she managed to kind of joke
Yeah.
him with something, and she was so tiny and he was so
Mhm.
big. I thought it was a troll.
I remember her attitude. That's that now I remember who she is.
Mhm. And so she's British. She does a great American accent,
She
as
does.
John Ware had said earlier.
Mhm.
Well, we remember these maps, guys. How many of you guys remember these maps? My dad
Mhm.
had them, and I kept a bunch of them. And I remember my dad pulling them out and be like, "Hmm,
Triple A map.
that's right." You had New York, New Jersey, Connecticut, all 3 states,
Mhm.
the Northeast, the North, like, different regions.
I used to look at the map to see how long or where we were going to get to Florida.
Mhm.
And my mother would say, "We're going through Washington." I'm like, "That's on the other side of the map. How are we gonna go there?" "No, Washington, DC." I'm like, "Oh, okay." So I could see, like, the towns and the roads and where they were. That stuff used to, like, still does maps fascinate me.
Absolutely, and now it seems like his brother, I guess he's not with his brother right now, so
Mhm,
if he's heard anything, he wants to find him for sure. Tom Jr. Jackson says, "I remember my dad having them too." Yes, when driving.
mhm.
Um, and John Ware says he still wears the watch even though it's broken again. Thank you, John Ware.
That makes sense
Yeah,
that
he would
he
never take
would.
it off.
'Cause that's the last thing his daughter touched.
Mhm. I thought she would have said that there was an explosion because there was one, and
Mhm.
just said, "Yeah, I got hit by the explosion." But I guess he wouldn't buy it. Hello, NC Rich, who says, "Great first episode, in my opinion. So glad to hear that. We are enjoying it and
Mhm.
glad that you are here." Oh, oh, well, that's a revelation.
Mhm.
Considering everything, he still looks surprisingly good
Very much so.
since it's like practically the end of the world and like everything's all foobar.
Mhm. But he still looks good.
Yeah. Yeah. You can see the firefly above her head,
Mhm.
the right-hand side there.
Yeah. Hmm. So what is so special about this girl?
If you're feeling lost, look for the light.
He's like, okay, I'm not gonna say it. I'm not gonna say it. So who's Riley? Yes, you always check to make sure. Always check it, make sure there's nothing jammed. So this is like the, abandoned subway system?
Mhm. That's what they meant when they said they take the subway.
Dang. Wow. Dang. Wow. Props to SFX for that one.
Mhm. It's incredible looking. And guys, we are at 1 hour and 5 minutes into the show. Yeah, they have his light at the same location on him.
Mhm.
He looks exactly like this. Like, when you look, he has the light on his body here. It's just like they did a good job for sure. Oh,
That's not good. Your boy is gone.
someone
This is
came through there.
mhm, not too long ago
That looks like a battery.
and murked all of them.
Why would they leave the battery?
Yeah,
Oh,
that's a good question.
Thanks, Stavros. Good to see you. Hope you're doing well.
Ooh,
Mm. He did have that combat veteran sticker on his Jeep, right?
that's right, he did. Hmm. Guess y'all got an established relationship.
He doesn't look like the kind of guy who would mess up anything.
Mhm.
He looks like,
Unless he had a reason to do it.
yeah, he looks like he's got everything under control kind of person.
I think considering with me not playing the video game, whatever it has to do with her, she's just super like, do not screw this up.
That's right.
Yeah.
Thanks for reminding us, Mikey. Now, how often do you think somebody can tell you that in this such an uncertain world
Mhm.
that we're going to be all right?
It's like with all the crap that's happening.
Hey, Joe Tyson.
Yeah. Fight infection and insurrection.
Yes.
Hmm.
And we are at 1 hour and 15 minutes, guys.
Nothing like a yeah, exactly. Fear and pandemonium.
This is incredibly close to the game, Lorena.
Really?
Hmm.
Mm. I have to trust you guys because I haven't played the video game, so just based on what I'm seeing, the way they ratcheted up the tension and showing us and not necessarily telling us.
Now I remember what happens in the scene. Yes, that's exactly what happens in the video game. After playing it so many times, knowing that part, they did this. This is maybe the best adaptation I've ever seen to Derpy 501st. It's intense. It's not easy to recreate this.
Mhm.
Oh God.
And that's when he snapped, y'all.
He was not going to let this stand in the way.
Yeah, yeah. And you know what? If he wasn't, I would be highly upset.
This is important. So she took the scanner, and when she used the scanner on the girl, it came up red.
Mhm.
Everything's happening so fast.
This is crazy.
Even the scene right here, like where they're climbing, a lot of the movements, the running, the
Mhm.
crouching, all this stuff, staying in the dark, running from this, it's unbelievable.
Biological contamination area, do not proceed.
Mhm. So they're not inside.
They're
Exactly.
not in the quarantine zone.
And this window was significant too in the game, or at least part of it anyway.
Is that a signal? So we've got an '80s tune that's playing right now.
I don't remember this part, but honestly, Lorena, oh look what it looks like. Look at what the city looks like. I love it. Yes, yes, yes. Yes, thank you, John Weir Jr. for Dave Shea mode. Never let me down
Yep.
again. Oh gosh. Oh my god. Okay. Lorena, what did you think of this episode?
Well, I have to say, without playing the video game, um, I thought it was really, really good. You got the motivation, the emotional connection very, very quickly. I care what happens to these characters. Even dude that got his face bashed in, it's like, oh, sorry that turned out that way. But if I had that much of a reaction, um, I really do like this. And I'm anxious to see what the next episode is going to be. They dragged out the tension really well in this episode. So they showed us more than they told us, but there was stuff that was told that we weren't privy to. Like the scene where Ellie is basically told, this is just for you. If you repeat this, you are going to die. But we don't know what it is. So, yeah. Yeah, and I actually I like this more than I thought I was going to like it.
Well, you know something, Lorena? There are a lot of elements that make a good video game. And this particular game had all those elements, fantastic graphics, excellent fighting gameplay, but it
Mhm.
also had one of the most incredible stories ever in a video game, Lorena. And part of the incredible part is that relationship between Joel and Ellie. And I want you to kind of watch it when you're watching and see they kind of like have this little thing going on. She saw how hard he fought for her at that moment.
Mhm.
She's like, wow, they have this instant connection. and they go through so much. Um, you know, that's why we enjoyed it, not just for the other elements, but there are these
Mhm.
passionate relationships in it of him. And of course, we saw the flashback, that very touching flashback with the daughter in the beginning, that moment
Mhm.
where he saw everything that went right, you know, in front of his eyes. He knew.
Mhm.
He, you know, something, Michaelito, I have no idea how we're supposed to figure out what the songs mean. I have to find out, but
There was a if I go by what Ellie said, because
yeah,
that there was a codex that was in there, and it's like the book.
yes,
Well, like the book was basically the codex that they had, and it was
yes,
like, okay, 60s, you know, no change, 70s, you know, something new was coming, and 80s trouble.
yes. Oh,
So
okay.
that's why it was real significant when you heard that song come on the radio. It was Depeche Mode, which is one of those 80s bands, and you heard it and basically indicated trouble. And then you see them running, and then you see just how dystopian it looks. So, from what I can gather, based on what she said, and based on that song that came on the radio, that's the code that they were using.
Well, thank you, Lorena. And you're right. I should have paid more attention to this. And so we do know that trouble is on its way. Thandie Newton's daughter, I know her. Is it Nico Parker? She
Yeah.
was fantastic in this. And honestly, so was Pedro Pascal. He was great in this. I don't really remember the brother very much. However, we know that he's looking for his brother now, Tommy, which is exactly like in the video game. I don't think they could have adapted this any better. This was maybe one of the most incredible adaptations I've ever seen in my life. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, John Ware Jr., for letting us know that she's perfected the American accent, right?
Ah, okay.
You know something, Lorena? It's been so many years. I've played this game maybe 4 times in my lifetime. There was one 6 months where I just played this game, and always on easy, guys. I'm not one of those like always on like the easiest mode, you know.
Mhm.
But one of the things that I thought was very interesting about this is that it was not an easy show to make. This was not easy to do this. This costs a lot of money, probably a lot of takes. You saw how many night scenes there are. It's not easy to get all those night scenes with the light correct. Um,
Mhm.
Lorena, if you went and watched a walkthrough of the video game, you would recognize this point by point by point. There would be nothing in there that you wouldn't recognize. And also the writing of it, like where she's like, well, what am I supposed to do now? He's like, I don't know. You know, like it's like the playfulness, the relationship. That was one of the things, Lorena, that if that wasn't in this story, I would
Mhm.
be very disappointed. But it looks like we're getting that, Lorena. We're getting that relationship all of a sudden, you know, and then all of a sudden this revelation, Lorena, right at the end, that she's positive for the fungus. She is
Mhm.
positive. What's going on? Why is she so important? You know, I think this really is a story that was written so well. Neil Druckmann wrote an incredible video game story. Oh, I'm
Mhm.
just so excited, Lorena. I can't. It's such a good story. So I have to say, and honestly, this, you know, we have the Firefly group.
Mhm. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Tom. Thank you so much about the official Last of Us podcast.
Oh, okay.
You guys want to listen to that too, as well. Certainly do that. You know, what I was going to say is what's really interesting about it is just the fact that these fireflies now all of a sudden, like, they seem like a terrorist organization, but then after listening to them, Lorena, Joel is helping them bring her somewhere, and Joel has to go and meet his brother. So there's these objectives that you already have, like, right from the get-go. He's got to go
Mhm.
find his brother or else he's going to die. That's what he said, right?
Mhm.
And now she has to go somewhere, and they're like, okay, we're going to drop her off at this place, and then we'll get our supplies and go on our way. You know, I think it's going to be very interesting if you guys see how everything turns out in
Mhm.
this story, because Lorena, it's such a good story. I think they're going to stick to it. I think you know, they had to make some changes and adaptations, but honestly, I don't think this could have been any closer to the game. It's really remarkable. I think a lot of people have said it, it's a really good story. I'm so excited, Maria. I cannot stop myself. I need to be quiet now.
No, it's okay. That's okay. One of the things that I like, if you're going to do a dystopian, everything's going to hell in a handbasket, zombie flick. Like I said in the beginning, and when Joel's daughter is going into the house, I'm like, okay, either, the elderly grandmother is going to run at her in a zombie fury, or she's eating brains in the kitchen. Sure enough, that's what happened. And I'm glad they did that, because that's a callback to every like zombie movie you've ever seen. There's one of two reactions: they're either eating or they're coming at you. So I thought that was done really good, even with the one guy who was like, help me, and you're just like, oh shoot, wait, here, jump scare is coming. But they did that because they dragged the tension out. Everything from when the dog, I mean, you can see the grandmother reacting, but the way that they did the camera, it blurred it out. So unless you were paying attention, you wouldn't know something was wrong. And even if you saw the dog looking at her, and dogs do not look like that, and you didn't see that, you wouldn't get it. But then I loved how they literally dragged that out to the point where it was just like, oh man, we got to find out. We got to find out. And sure enough, then that's when the whole thing just pops off and just all hell breaks loose. Them driving, trying to figure out how to get out. Now, I have to ask you, was that in the video game, that escape from the house and they're
Yes,
trying to get out of town?
yes, it was.
Okay, because the reason why I thought about that is how they were driving and the perspective that you see from them driving forwards to backwards to him spinning around, and the people running and the ones that are affected are in the back. You can see them, and it's just this, oh my God, we have to get out of here. We have to get out of here. We have to get out of here. So I thought everything from the plane crashing and the engine flying off, that was perfect. So just watching that, knowing how video games are, I'm like, that's got to be, it has to drop you in as if you were actually playing. Even if I've never played the game, that made me feel like I was.
Absolutely. I don't remember exactly about I can't say for certain that the plane, like all the parts of the plane were there. They might have gone down a separate path and done some things, but the idea of where they leave the house, she has to get in the car quickly. They're driving, the house on the left-hand side is on fire. That's exactly in the video game. They get to the place there, the part where he runs away with her in her arms.
Mhm.
It really was quite dramatic. And in the game, it's not as long as what we get in this story. So this is a little bit more. There's a little bit more investment here, and I'm glad they took that time for that. Yes, Bloodsport One says the zombies were really fast, like Return of the Living. Yeah.
They weren't quite South Korean Train to Busan fast,
Yes.
or All of Us Are Dead fast.
Yes.
But they were up there like 28 days later. But yeah, they were fast.
They are fast, and we saw some really gruesome looking poor characters in the subway, completely devoured. They were like almost completely turned.
Yeah, that had to be. I don't know how long it took them to do that. If it's CGI, I don't want to know. But the way that it looked, you could feel the terror of what happened to that person. It was like, like seeing somebody from Alien have the sucker on their face. And they're pretty much dead. That kind of thing.
Yeah. No, you're right. I think that part of the terror is the fact that the only way to know whether someone's infected is if you have one of those handheld things. And then, we already saw what happens to a person when they are infected.
Hmm.
They end up getting a shot, and, it's pretty much the end of them.
Hmm.
I think that was very clearly done, and there's no other way to interpret that. And it is terrifying, seeing some kid walking around and, being put in that position where, they can't have him walking around and infecting other people. So that was something else. And John Ware Jr. says, looks like they used a cinematic from the game as a storyboard animatic for a lot of this episode. Definitely, John Ware Jr., you played the game, I'm guessing. Yes.
That's what I would do if someone had told me to write a TV show based on a video game. I'm going to have you walk me through the cinematic of the game from several different angles. I'm going to get immersed in that because if I'm going to put it on a screen, I need to make you feel, even if you've never played it, as if you are, playing the game. So yeah, that was kudos to them for doing that.
And Bloodsport One says it was fast and aggressive. Absolutely. I don't know whether this is true, whether it was to detecting, C19, but it certainly was. We certainly didn't handle it the same way. I can tell you that much. And they had to. One other thing that people talked about a lot in the game was how they had to age everything 20 years. So it's 20 years later. How do you make a city look 20 years old? And there was a lot of conversation about that and different things. You'll notice little things, Lorena, throughout the story from 20 years ago. Like, I'm not going to say what you'll see, but I knew that we were going to see the firefly. I love how they handled the fireflies because at first you don't know whether they're like this organization that's bad. And then all of a sudden you're kind of like, well, what is it with them? Why do they want to get her, out of there? And, they don't really, you can't really figure out what their intention is initially, but they're doing something else that obviously the status quo, whoever is running this big show and is controlling the gates in the city, doesn't want them to do. So you have to sneak out into the zone, that danger zone you mentioned, Lorena, where they are going into this danger zone. I've got to give this episode a 10 out of 10, Lorena. I've never seen such a good rendition of a video game, and it really was perfect. I can't see any flaws in it. Tom Jr. Jackson says this was one of the best pilot episodes that was intense and scary and fresh. That tightness in my stomach was keeping me on the edge of my seat. I can't wait for more episodes. Oh my gosh, I'm just wow.
I will say, because it is a pilot and I kind of want to see what everything else is, I would give it a 9 out of 10. Just because I am hesitant now. That could change based on what I see. So definitely one that I would go back and watch again. That's how I know that the rating is so high. The fact that 90 minutes went through like that. The fact that the storytelling was, extremely, extremely tight. So this is just me. I kind of felt like it was a little rushed at the end, finding out that she tested positive. I would have rather that maybe they not use that monitor on her and maybe just saw her arm, quite possibly. Or I don't know. To me, that just felt like it was kind of rushed for them to do that. But considering that this is the pilot, they probably said, okay, you know what? We need some kind of callback. So that's what we're going to do. So I can understand if for sake of time and how they broke it out, that's why they do that. I'm willing to forgive them a little bit, but I would still give it a 9 out of I'd still give it a 9 out of 10.
You make a good point on that. And I guess they could have taken a little bit of time to do that, but they wanted to leave you right there. They wanted to leave you right there where they just found out that she's tested positive and they're going into a point of no return. Certainly something that is terrifying. John Ware Jr. says, lessons from the screenplay has a video with Neil Druckmann from 3 years ago. Can I put the link? Sure. Well, you can't put a link in there, but maybe Tom can find it and put it in. Thank you, John Ware Jr. You were so kind to do that and letting us know. And originally, Druckmann was going to make this into a movie, if I remember correctly, from 2014 or 2013. And then different things happened, like throughout the years. And then it became a series. And Lorena, this needed to be a series. This is like a 40 to 60 hour video game. It would be hard to make this into a 2-hour film. Wouldn't you agree?
Oh God, yeah. I would not attempt to put a video game into a movie. Um, at least not something as involved and relationship based as this. It's not Sonic the Hedgehog. That's different, different type of game. When you have this type of game that you're immersed in it and there's several different storylines going on at the same time, you can't put it in a 2-hour movie. How many video game movies have failed because of that particular reason? Case in point, House of the Dead. We don't really like to talk about that movie. Okay. I played that video game and the movie was awful.
Yeah, it's unfortunate when that happens, especially when it has potential and
Hmm.
it was spread out a certain way. And it doesn't have to be a set number necessarily, just what's appropriate and is needed to tell the story. That's all we're asking for. Nothing more
Hmm.
and nothing less for a video game with this much content, this much intensity. You can understand that. And it is like a mini series, Lorena. I don't know how many seasons this is going to be. I don't know all the details because I didn't look at it and I didn't necessarily want to grab onto details per se. What I do
Hmm.
know is that this could go on for a long time if they wanted it to, because God knows I played this game for a long time, Lorena. And, there's a lot in it and a lot of things that you learn and how the characters grow along the way, which is something that I think a lot of people are going to enjoy as this goes on. And thank you, Tom Jr. Jackson, for that lessons from the
Hmm.
screenplay. Neil Druckmann, who is the creator for The Last of Us, from Naughty Dog. So there is that. And guys, do check out HBO. Also has some other things on there as well. Thank you, John Ware Jr. as well as Tom Jr. Jackson. Lorena, any last thoughts about The Last of Us, the pilot episode that you want to share?
I will say, I'll preface it by saying, given what happened with the whole kerfuffle around The Last of Us Part 2, I was honestly prepared to hate this darn show. I really was. However, the trailer had me interested, and I'm glad that I indeed decided to watch because I was thoroughly entertained. A lot of suspense, several callbacks to your zombie infection outbreak and how people deal with that. Great action scenes. Much props to it, especially how they had the scenes set up. All of that. An excellent, excellent pilot.
I couldn't agree more. I just want to thank you for watching it with me and everybody else who is in the chat and people who might want to watch this on a replay. God bless you for doing that and for letting me show you my figures that are from the Last of Us video game and actually look pretty close to what we're seeing right now in the television show. So it's not too different. I think they stuck with the general feel.
Hmm.
The final thing that I wanted to say about the show is that the composer of the video game, he's a fantastic composer from South America that kind of gives a feel to the game and
Hmm.
some of the music. And you're going to hear it's like a guitar specific sound to the show as it progresses. He did the music for the video game, and he's also doing the music for the television program here on HBO. And so I also think that creates a kind of similar feel
Absolutely.
to that soundtrack. Lorraine, you know how sometimes the soundtrack can tell a story, and
Hmm.
it certainly is the case in this. So I'm kind of looking forward to more episodes where we get to hear a little bit of that music and that feel, and certainly do want to get your opinion about that going forward. So thank you everybody for coming by and joining us for this watch party. Lorraine, where can people find you?
Well, folks, you can find me on Twitter, you can find me on Instagram, and of course, you can find me on YouTube doing various videos and live streams on my channel. Of course, also with Positive Fandom and sometimes on Positive Fandom's channel as well.
Yes. And of course, guys, you can find me here on Positive Fandom. Please do like and subscribe to Positive Fandom. And please do like and subscribe to Lorena Creole's channel as well if you enjoy the programming that we're bringing you here tonight. We have a lot coming up this year. Please please do check our community pages to find out what's going on regularly. Lorena and I are going to be on the Burnett Network tomorrow at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for our ladies of the PGS. We got some pretty hot topics, including Brooke Shields' documentary, and that big kerfuffle that's going on with D&D and the Wizards of the Coast guys, as well as other things that we want to mention for tomorrow. So please do check that out at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and we will see you then. Until then, guys, and Tom Jr. Jackson, we are all goof people. Tom Jr. Jackson, thank you for your help. For everybody out there, no matter where you are, always do remember to please be kind, everybody. Take care. Bye.
Bye.